Welcome back to another week of Crafted Camp & Co. This is the 10th episode. I'm really excited to show you the progress that I've done on the van this week, and it's quite exciting as it's the 10th video that I've made. As you can see behind me, the workshop is an absolute tip, but that's just a result of all of the work that's been going on this week. Here's what you can expect from this week's video. Just see a little sneak peek. So that's all you're getting. All you're getting. You've got to watch. Now that I've got the left-hand side side plate on for the entrance of the door on here, it's making me want to redo the one on this side. I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with that one, but the gap there is much bigger than the gap there. An unexpected feature is that it's created quite a nice shape, and I want that to be symmetrical between them both, at least to a certain extent. So I'm going to redo this one. Unfortunately, it's using more materials. Fortunately, it's like using more materials and more time, but I think it's little touches like that, and it's a little bits of attention to detail, which will really just elevate it and almost give you a feeling like with the design and the symmetrical and essentially more of a perfectionist nature, that care and attention has been taken to do it. I am also making templates of them as well, so on future builds, future sprinters, potentially like the next one that's coming up, I'll be able to do it a lot quicker, or at least a lot more consistent rather than quicker. As well as the curve that then falls naturally into the position where the armrest is going to go. Just left enough space at the top there for the top, which is then also going to have a USB charger in as well. Dual function: whenever you're in the living room you can charge your phone, and then when this is put out as a bed you can then charge once you're in bed. Here's the cut list for the shoebox and for the sofa and shower. Laid everything out, so I'm going to cover it all in this concrete effect stone paint. Paint's coming in nicely now. As you can see, it's a set textured cement looking paint. I'm going to get finishing edges and so on. I quite like the pod cabin separator. And then I'm just finishing off the arm for the chair, up and over. And that then blends into the other arch on the other side. Got the backrest in, as well as the shower wall. And the shoebox is ready for painting on the inside, just to finish that off in there. It's really rewarding getting all the paint and the kind of finishing touches in the van. Been what seems like forever. I think it's about 4 months now. It's 90 days since I started the van itself, so I'd like to get the van finished and complete within 120 days, so 4 months. Ideally I'd like to get it sold for then, but my focus at the minute is just doing one task at a time, just cracking on and making sure that every finish and every edge and everything is just done perfectly, because that's really what's going to pay dividends when the van's done. And that first impression when people have a look either on social media or certainly when they come to view the van, that's going to be what changes it from just being a DIY project to something with a professional finish, hopefully. I've got to an interesting point with the build this week. I've start to put the finishing edges on. As you can see behind me, there is starting to be a comprehensive camper van rather than a van. I've just thought I'd be real just for a couple of seconds though, because I've got a little bit down today just with the finish, with essentially seeking perfection, and I'm not getting that in everything. Everything that I'm putting in, obviously I'm putting all my effort in, and I've agreed with myself I'm going to make it to the best of my ability, but then it doesn't always mean I need to be happy with what the best of my ability is and what the tools can achieve. That coupled with the kind of financial pressures of starting the business. Thankfully, photography has propped me up. It's paying the bills, it's making sure that I'm not needing to take too much money out of this place. But nonetheless, renting a building, paying for all of the bills, electric, subscriptions, YouTube, involves Premiere, After Effects, Photoshop, all of those different costs and everything. Those do ultimately over time build pressure. There's a lot of interest which we're paying to borrow money to start this place. We're not being given anything. Certainly haven't been given a big wedge of cash and said, there you go and have fun. Doing this all borrowed, nothing stolen, thankfully. But yeah, that's a mounting pressure on top, which ultimately means that something small like a little edge like this just here, and it doesn't come out exactly how I want it to be, it does have ramifications further down the line of what that means for the business and what that means for for the wider kind of goal. Now that the bed is all installed, just going to run you through the plan for the bed. On either side, where your feet and head are, I've then just put a strip of lighting in the recess, so when I have the outer panel, that'll hide it all, and the inner panel then, which will be the suede material, same as the back doors, that'll then have nice ambient lighting, and they'll be on their own control unit, which means then the remote you can select just bedroom lights, main lights, bathroom lights and so on. So this side piece here, I'm going to have the kitchen wall come up to this line on the wall here. And so then it just leaves this section underneath. I was debating leaving it van colour because it's got holes in it. There's no reason why I can't just wrap it in fabric. Same as the wall on that side. Seem to have nailed it. It just nicely follows the edge down. Of course it's not 100% perfect, but that'll be covered when it's all done. This is the unseen bit on YouTube. You don't catch the hour and a half worth of cleanup every week. With all the water that's hooked up now, aside from the appliances, the next step is to do the gas. I'm hoping this will be a little bit easier than what the water was. One big thing that I've found in this process is campervans use primarily 12mm pipes for water, 8mm pipes for gas. If you go to plumbers merchants and things like that, they don't have them readily available, or at least as available as what domestic usual things are. So I've really found it difficult going to different places and trying to just explain to them what it is that I need and then for them to fulfill that. But we're just about there now. So the gas system in the van it comprises of a couple of different appliances, and it's all powered through an underslung gas tank. The gas tank will come up through a regulator using 8mm pipe for everything. It's just what was recommended, so it's what I've gone with. The 8mm pipe comes up through the floor and then it goes into this isolation valve. So you can see there's 3 outputs on there, so you can isolate any of the individual gas lines. You need to turn something off or service. And from the first one, it's going to go to the external outlet. So at the end of the van through the sliding door, there's going to be an easy valve there where you can plug in an outdoor kitchen or an uni pizza oven or so on and so forth. And so on there I need a female to female connector. Second is going to be the Truma boiler. So the boiler, again, it's just connected up with the same 8mm. That then goes onto the side of the boiler with the supplied nut. This is a compression nut, which I've just lost the olive for. So this is a compression nut, which again, pipe goes in. When you tighten it, it compresses it together with a bit of tape on it. That should create a nice seal on the boiler. And the smart controller of the boiler, then you can decide whether to have 240 volt, 12 volt or gas to heat the water. And then finally there's the gas cooktop. I was in 2 minds just with the length of pipe that I had as to whether to branch off in a T for the external outlet, but I've decided just so then I can make use of all the isolation valves to run separate gas lines. And so the separate gas line then will go to the gas cooktop, and this comes down through an elbow from the bottom of the cooktop into then a 1/2-inch BSP connection, and then I've just got a reducer going in that way, and the reducer reduces it down to an 8mm, which then I can connect up, tighten on, and the 8mm then go back to the ISO valve. Now it's time to get some of the kitchen cabinets in. The most difficult one that I've got to put in is the one next to the water tank, because it's got a water tank that intersects through the back of it. I'm just going to mock up, because it's quite a complicated cut list. I'm just going to mock it up on a piece of wood. Here's the right hand side with all of the kitchen cabinets in. I'm going to take this one in at the top so then it does sit further back. This gives a really good idea of the layout and how things are going to end up. So we've got the fridge, and just a bit in what to do with this space here. I've not thought of an idea just yet, but I'm sure I'll be able to figure something. Next to that then we've got the pull out, so there's a rack that goes in there which pulls out on some sliders. Just storage behind that. Just above this one as well is going to be the sink, and just above this where the fridge is going to be the hob. And then on the end one here, this is got the water tank in it, so that's just going to be a storage. And then there's going to be 2 doors, almost like wardrobe doors, that open on this for storage further up. As I've got everything into the van, it's turned what is already quite a small space into even smaller of a space. It has taken me a little bit by shock. I'd be lying if I said it hadn't. Mainly just because I've spent so much time inside the van, and all of a sudden the space is, it's shortened right down. But ultimately, if you're building into a van, you're gonna have not much space to work with, so it's what you do with that space that counts. Looking at potentially putting a mirror on the wall, and then just using lights and big wide open spaces at least up the top, so then you get a nice expansive feeling rather than it just being a corridor. And stop right there. Look at the bloody time. Another long episode this week. Obviously I'm doing a lot of work and just trying to fit it all in every single week is a nightmare. I'll give you a spoiler on next week. I don't like that corridor design. I'm going to change it. Of course, I'm seeking perfection, and that includes when I don't like something, scrap it, bin it, redesign it, make it right. So So look forward to that next week. Follow on TikTok, Instagram, social medias, all of them good stuff. And there's going to be daily updates on there. And then next week, these episodes are getting really good now. The decoration, see over my shoulder, plenty more work to be done in there. So tune back in, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you follow me on all social media, make sure you buy the van when it's ready. Good night.